There's no other candidate running for president that has reduced government spending. My tax plan intentionally cuts government spending. Now, you heard on that stage say, another Republican said he didn't want to cut taxes, he wanted revenue neutral reforms. I think we need to be the party that explicitly says we're shrinking government, we're cutting taxes, we're growing the American economy. That's not a criticism. That's a strength of my record. That's a strength of my proposals. That's exactly what I would do in D.C. That is the choice we face in this election. If we don't do that, we are done as a country, not just as a party, but as a country.
So what's part two? You leave tonight. What do you do next so that you're not just seen as an undercut candidate and you get that message out there and you move up?
We head to Iowa. We've campaigned very hard on the ground there. We've been in 53 of the 99 counties, done over 100 events, moving up in the polls. We're building a movement there, and we've done it because people understand this is a clear choice. They understand this is not an election about personalities. They've seen people go up and down in the national polls for saying outrageous things, but they understand this election is about who can get our country back. The idea of America is slipping away. $18 trillion of debt, record number of Americans on food stamps. That's not the American dream. And so this is a clear choice for voters as they pay more and more attention as we get closer. Remember, the first votes aren't cast till February 1st. We're focused on Iowa, where the caucus is. We're going to do very well there. That's going to propel us to the nomination.
Governor Jindal, you consider taking this debate. Is it worth your time to show up?
Yeah, look, I'm happy to debate anybody, anywhere, anytime. I do think the RNC should pay attention to early state polls. I think they should pay attention to the fact that over the last 50 years, our nominee has always won either New Hampshire or Iowa. That's not going to change. I know they want to clear the field. I know they want to limit debates. I know they want an establishment candidate. That's a mistake. I think we should have as many opportunities as possible. Let as many folks debate as many times as possible. What are we scared of? But absolutely, I'm happy to debate anybody, anytime, anywhere. I think one of the differences tonight, people saw, again, I'm the candidate that explicitly embraces shrinking government, cutting taxes, not slowing the growth rate, actually reducing the size of government, and we have got to stand for that, otherwise our country's done.
Is there any metric you have to see coming out of this to see that your candidacy is on the right track? Is there anything that you could see that would say make you reevaluate whether you stay in the race or not?
Look, we're in this race to win this race. We're in this race based on not only the fact that we bring the experience, but the best ideas. I put out detailed plans on tax policy, on healthcare, education, energy, defense. One of the things you heard tonight about my tax plan, we say everybody should pay something. That's also unique. A lot of these other Republican plans, they brag about the fact that millions of Americans would pay nothing. I think that's a mistake. We're going back to Iowa from here. We're going to continue campaigning hard on the ground. There's a saying in Louisiana, you hunt where the ducks are. The voters are in Iowa. We're going to continue talking directly to the voters.
Donald Trump says that everybody who's attacked has suffered. Have you suffered from attacking Trump?
No, look, Donald Trump, since we started attacking him, his numbers in Iowa have gone down. He's peaked in Iowa. And according to the last NBC poll, we were in the top 5. We've actually gone up in Iowa. We've focused our attention on the early state, and it's working. Look, I love the fact he called attention to the D.C. establishment. I love the fact he's politically incorrect. But he's not a conservative. You know, he's an egomaniac. He just recently, even after we started attacking him, came out and said government should pay for everybody's health care. That is one of the defining issues right now we face domestically as conservatives. We cannot be for that. We've already got a party that's for that. That's called the Democratic Party. They're for Obamacare. They're for socialism. What's next? Once the government says they're paying for everybody's health care, they're going to tell us what to eat. They're going to tell us how many guns we eat. Well, I know they're trying to do that already, but that will give them further excuses to try to regulate, micromanage our lives. So no, since we've gone after him, he started going down in Iowa, we've gone up in Iowa, and we're going to continue to be, look, and the reason we did it wasn't based on polls. We did it because we're going to speak the truth. This is an important election. Hillary is gift-wrapping this election to us. Let's not blow it. And I think nominating Donald would actually blow this election.
Do you plan on campaigning for Senator Vitter at all in the next month?
Look, I respect the judgment of the voters in Louisiana. The reality is I think the press makes too much of politicians trying to endorse each other. I look forward to watching the runoff, and I look forward to seeing which candidate will commit to policies that will continue the economic development we've done in Louisiana.
So anyone you're supporting in the runoff?
We haven't made that decision yet. That doesn't mean we won't, but we haven't made that decision.
Are you saying
you won't be supporting Senator Vitter?
Donald Trump's poll numbers have gone down because of you?
I'm saying they've gone down for a number of reasons, but after we started attacking him, his numbers did peak. I think they've gone down in large part because of what he says and what he does. And look, I think he's his own worst enemy. The reality is, I think voters are looking for an authentic conservative. That's not Donald Trump. And look, again, I find him entertaining. I thought it was great fun when he gave out Lindsay's phone number. I thought it was great when he pointed out people are falling asleep at Jeb's rallies. I thought it was great when he gave helicopter rides. But this is at the Iowa State Fair to kids, but this is a serious election. And the reality is, Donald Trump's not a conservative, he's not a liberal, he's not an independent, he's in it for himself. And this is a time to nominate an authentic conservative. I said this in my closing, it's not enough just to send any Republican to the White House. We need to elect somebody who's going to stand up and fight for our conservative beliefs.
Are you saying there's a possibility you would back the
Look, all I'm saying is we haven't made a decision. We haven't announced any endorsement in the race. We look forward to watching the runoff unfold. And again, I think folks make too big of a deal about politicians endorsing or not endorsing. The voters are going to decide, and that's the way it should be.
What do you make of the fact that Democrats in Louisiana are trying to make you a liability for Senator Vitter, though? I mean, what would your response be to
Look,
that?
I'm proud of our record. I didn't get elected to make small changes. We got elected to make big changes. Top 10 state for job creation. I won 2 landslide elections. My last election, we call them parishes, not counties. We won every one of them. We set a record for the percentage of the vote we won. First time was the first time a non-incumbent had won in a primary without a runoff. So clearly we were able to get a majority of Louisiana's voters not only to put me in office, but to support our policies. When you look at what we've accomplished, statewide school choice, ethics reforms, record reductions in government workforce, record increases in our private sector economy, $60 billion of investment, 90,000 jobs coming into the state. I know during campaigns folks say a lot of things, but look at the record, look at the results.
Do you think Senator Vitter should be running more on your record to extend it?
Look, he can make his own decisions about the race he wants to run, and so can his opponent. That's up to them. They can decide how they want to run the race. But the race should be about the future, not looking back. I think every election this election needs to be about the future of our country. As much as I disagree with President Obama and his policies, this election is about how do we move America forward? How do we not only get rid of Obamacare, what do we do in its place? Not only do we get rid of these tax increases, but how do we change the tax code going forward? Not only do we get rid of his failed foreign policy, but what do we put in its place? Elections are forward-looking, not backwards-looking.
Last one back here.
Just one more.